Welcome to the world of Berserk, a dark fantasy masterpiece that doesn't just tell a story, it tears into the very fabric of humanity, trauma, and fate. If you're new to the series, prepare yourself for a journey that's as brutal as it is profound. Today, we're diving into Chapter 0, also known as the Black Swordsman, the perfect introduction to Kentaro Miura's legendary manga. This chapter doesn't just set the stage, it slams you into a world where violence is a language and every scar tells a story. Let's start with a quick summary for those unfamiliar with the story. Chapter 0 introduces us to Guts, the Black Swordsman, a lone warrior with a massive sword, a mechanical arm, and a past shrouded in mystery. The chapter opens with Guts in a seemingly intimate moment with a woman, but things take a horrifying turn when she transforms into a demon. What follows is a brutal battle that showcases Guts' relentless nature and his mission to hunt down creatures known as apostles. But this isn't just a story about killing monsters. From the very beginning, we're given hints about Guts' past, his missing eye, his mechanical arm, and his burning desire for revenge against someone named Griffith. This chapter sets the tone for the entire series: dark, violent, and deeply psychological. Now let's take a deeper look at the creative angle of this chapter: the armor we wear. Exploring trauma through Berserk's opening chapter. Guts isn't just a warrior, he's a walking metaphor for trauma. His physical appearance tells us everything we need to know about his psychological state. His mechanical arm, a symbol of loss and resilience. His covered eye, a reminder of the pain he's endured. And that massive sword, it's not just a weapon, it's a manifestation of the emotional weight he carries. Guts is armored both physically and emotionally, and this chapter shows us why. But what makes Berserk so unique is how it subverts traditional fantasy tropes. Guts isn't your typical hero. He's cold, brutal, and driven by revenge. This isn't a story about good versus evil. It's about survival in a world that's shown him no mercy. And through Guts, we're forced to ask, what does it mean to be human in a world filled with monsters? Let's break down some key points that make this chapter so impactful. First, the deceptive dark fantasy setting. On the surface, Berserk seems like a standard dark fantasy: demons, swords, and a lone warrior. But beneath the surface, it's a deep exploration of trauma, humanity, and fate. The violence isn't just for shock value, it's a reflection of the brutal world Guts inhabits and the internal turmoil he carries. Guts' design isn't just cool, it's purposeful. Every detail from his mechanical arm to the brand on his neck tells a story. Even the way he's introduced, first from behind, then partially, before we see his full intimidating appearance, shows Miura's mastery of pacing and suspense. Third, the duality of violence. The violence in Berserk isn't gratuitous. It serves a narrative purpose, reflecting both the world's brutality and Guts' internal state. And finally, the seeds of a larger mythology. Even in this first chapter, we're given hints about the Band of the Hawk, Apostles, and Griffith, details that will become crucial as the story unfolds. Now let's talk visuals. One of the most striking aspects of Berserk is its art. In Chapter 0, Miura uses panel progression to build tension. We first see Guts from behind, then get glimpses of his mechanical arm and sword before finally seeing his full, intimidating appearance. This deliberate pacing draws us into Guts' world and makes his reveal all the more impactful. Another visual highlight is the contrast between the seemingly normal tavern setting and the sudden shift to supernatural horror. This stark transition sets the tone for the entire series, horror lurking beneath the surface of the mundane. And if we compare scenes from Chapter 0 to later arcs, we can see how Miura established visual motifs from the very beginning, creating a cohesive and immersive world. Finally, let's talk about the brand of sacrifice. This mysterious mark on Gut's neck is more than just a symbol, it's a narrative device that hints at the larger story to come. It represents fate, choice, and the idea that Guts can't escape his past. It's also a constant reminder of the supernatural forces at play, drawing demons to him and ensuring that his journey will be anything but easy. So, what does Chapter 0 tell us about Berserk? It's a story about trauma, survival, and the cost of revenge. It's a world where violence is a language, and every scar tells a story. And Guts? He's not just a warrior, he's a reflection of the darkness within us all. If you're intrigued by what you've seen today, I highly recommend diving into Berserk. It's a journey that will challenge you, disturb you, and ultimately leave you in awe of its depth and complexity.
Shadows rise and